This month's Smash Our Stash theme was ribbon, so stay tuned for some great ideas to use up some of the ribbon in your stash. Hi guys, it's Beth and welcome back to my channel. Like I said, it is time for another Smash Our Stash collab. And the month of February's theme was ribbon. And ribbon is such an easy thing to hoard. And if you're like me, or maybe some of you were smarter than me, but I have jars of just either scrap ribbon or ribbon that I saved. I have saved ribbon from like every gift, you know, like if it had the craft ribbon, not the package wrap ribbon, but anything that had craft ribbon on it that I received, I saved because, you know, you never know when you're going to need it. So I finally used up some of those weird ribbons that I've been hoarding all these years. There is a list of collaborators down in the description box who are also using ribbon this month, and I'm sure we all have some great and different ideas on how to use up the ribbon in your stash. So how did I use my ribbon this month? I went through my jar. I started with this jar, which is just kind of like the thinner ribbon, and I pulled out all of the smaller bits that I had left. And actually I didn't have that many small bits left because I'd used a bunch of those up last year for the ribbon prompt for Smash Our Stash. But I took those and maybe some of the larger ones that I could cut down and made these little ribbon bookmarks with them. So these are great for page markers. If you're using a journal, they could be bookmarks. I am going to use them for packaging, like for the paperwork that goes in my order packaging for all of our online store orders. And I've made, you know, the paper ones, you've seen me make those before, but I also decided that I would use some of these just as a way to use up some of the ribbon. And I just used various paper clips that I had in my stash. Some are colored, some are plain, and these were very quick and simple. So that was my first project. Next, I had pulled out some of the larger pieces that I knew could make a bow. So I had made these are just like wood hearts from the Dollar Tree, and I had covered them with paper last year, and I decided to add a bow. I had remembered last year that I thought they could use a bow. So when I was going through my ribbon, I had like this long length of white ribbon that I thought I could make a little double bow out of. And then there was this little bitty, I had these little bitty strands of like pearl, wired pearl. And so I just tucked those in as well just to use those up. They've been in this jar forever. And then I also found this black and white checked ribbon that I thought would go with my red and black buffalo check here. And then I took a scrap of black to cover up the center here in the bow. And then I also just used, there was a scrap of twine, regular jute twine in my jar. And so I used that in my bow as well, just for some additional texture. So I made two quick and easy bows. And then I went through and pulled out all of my pink and white and red ribbons. We are coming up on Valentine's Day, and I thought I would just make some ribbon garland. So I used twine as my like base. So this was just some pink jute twine that I had. And then I just went and cut down my ribbon, and then I kind of picked a middle starting point and then worked out from there. So I believe that because I had one, there was only like one of that, like I had one of this type of really wide pink ribbon, and so that was my middle point. And then I worked out from there, trying to stay consistent with what I put on each side. So when I talked about weird ribbon that I had saved, so this ribbon, really cute. I love the white with the pink stitching on it, and it said cuddle. And I'm pretty sure this came on a gift from when one of my daughters was born, most likely my oldest, who is now 11. So been around for a while. And then it gets better because there's this light pink ribbon that says burp. Yeah, so this is just for me. This is just some Valentine's decoration that's going up in my craft room, so I don't care that it says burp. And should I have ironed some of this ribbon before I used it? Yes. Do I really care? No, because it's like a messy twine anyway, and it's gonna kind of straighten out on its own after a while. So I'm really okay with it, and I'm okay that it says burp and cuddle, because I'm finally using that pink ribbon that has been in my jars for probably 11 years. Yay for me. So I also had a ton of red ribbon. And then I always have scraps of white ribbon. And white is probably the color I use the most, like of my scraps. And so I kind of focused on some of this whiter white ribbon that I hadn't used as often. And so again, I took just some twine, and this actually is like a tan with a little bit of gold glitter in it. And then picked a middle point and worked out from there with trying to stay consistent on what ribbons I tied going out. And again, just used various pieces, and I have one that's coming off here. And I ended up trimming them down so that they were a little more consistent in size, but I didn't necessarily worry about size when I was tying them on the twine. I just kind of came back and trimmed them up a little bit later. So again, ribbon that's been in my stash for a really long time. Some of it, I'm sure, now it's used up, and I have some cute Valentine's Day decorations. So the last thing I did, and I need to add some hot glue to hold this on, but it's kind of like it reminds me of a cross between like a ribbon or like the macrame hangings and like a dream catcher kind of thing, but it's just ribbon. And I thought I had a dowel rod, but I didn't. So this is just a skewer. So I kind of kept my ribbons on the shorter end and on the smaller, because the skewer, I didn't want it to weigh it down in the middle. So for this one, I just went through and pulled out off-white ribbons and lace. Again, some of this ribbon I've had in my stash for a long time. Some of the lace is newer, but I focused on some of the scraps of lace that I had. And then I also pulled in this, I don't even know where I got it, but it's just a strip of fabric. And then this was just one scrap of ribbon, but I only had one of each, but the colors were similar, so I decided to kind of use those as my ending pieces on my little ribbon. So this is, I kind of have an antique-y vibe going on in our bedroom, and so I decided I would hang this just kind of as some decor in my bedroom. So I used up a ton of ribbon, and these went super fast, but I'm excited because I have a couple jars that have like the various size. This is like my thinner ribbon, and then I have some other jars that like get wider with the ribbon. And last year, at the beginning of the year, they were overflowing. I used a bunch last year for Smash Our Stash, and so they were like level with the top, and now there's actually room in all my jars. I have seen a dent in my ribbon stash thanks to Smash Our Stash. So I hope you guys got some inspiration on how to use up ribbon. And I think these garlands, like had I had more time, I probably would have gone through and looked for green ribbon and done the same thing for St. Patrick's Day. And, you know, it's something that you could do for 4th of July, Christmas, fall, whatever. Just kind of pick a theme with your ribbon and go through, and you can use scraps. You don't have to be consistent with what ribbons you're putting. You could just tie ribbons on and call it good. Super fast way to use up scrap ribbons, and you get some decorations out of it. So hope you guys enjoyed the video today, got some ideas. Again, please be sure to check out the links below for more inspiration on how to use your ribbon. And if you would like to play along, you are more than welcome to play along and use the hashtag SmashOurStash2022 so we can find you and see how you use your stash each month. Thank you guys so much for your time today, and I hope you all have a very crafty day.